Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has visited victims of the recent brutal attack in Yellow-Water community in Guma local government area of Benue State, where over 59 people were killed and many others injured. Arriving at the Tactical Air Command Nigerian Air Force Base in Makurdi, Tinubu went directly to the hospital to see survivors of the massacre. Following his hospital visit, the president proceeded to the new banquet hall of the Benue State Government House for a closed-door meeting with key stakeholders to address the spate of violent attacks in the state. Now, in a recent development, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed security agencies to take decisive action against criminal elements responsible for the ongoing attack in Benue State. Our correspondent Felicity Indere reports from Makurdi.
The visit of the Inspector General of Police IGB Kayode Egbetokun and the Chief of Defence Staff
We apologize. That report will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. Now, still in Benue State, where the House of Assembly has attributed the widespread killings in the country to the security agencies' half-hearted approach to the issue, urging the people of the state to remain vigilant and defend themselves within the ambit of the law to safeguard their lives and property. It was requested that Governor Hyacinth Alia to declare 3 days of mourning in honor of victims of the Yellow-Water massacre and activation of the anti-open grazing state. President Bola Tinubu has commissioned new national headquarters building for the National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Abuja. The president says the project aims to enhance the commission's operational capacity and reinforce public trust in the country's democratic institutions. Political correspondent Godwin Sunday has details.
Standing beneath the sun at the Zambezi Crescent site, President Bola Tinubu says the project is to strengthen democracy, the independence of the institutions, and the future of electoral integrity. It says INEC, which has long struggled with the limitations of an overstretched and outdated headquarters, is now set to receive a modern annex equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, including a 1,000-seat auditorium, advanced IT infrastructure, and for the first time, a museum chronicling Nigerians' electoral history.
It is a great honor and sense of purpose that I stand before you today to flag up the construction of a new national office, the annex of the headquarters of Independent National Electoral Commission right here in Abuja. Today's ceremony is not merely about bricks and mortar. It is about the strength of our democracy, the independence of our institutions, and the future of our electoral integrity.
Speaking at the event, the Independent National Electoral Commission Chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakub, described the new project as a special occasion and a milestone in INEC's institutional development and evolution. He explained that the annex would serve as a complement to the current headquarters rather than a replacement.
The main building opposite the present site shall remain the national headquarters of the Commission. When completed, the new building will complement the main building. For me personally, this is a very, very special occasion. After almost 10 years of persistent effort, the construction of the INEC Annex building is finally a reality.
The new complex is being constructed by the Federal Capital Development Authority (FCDA) under the supervision of the FCT Minister, Barrister Nyesom Wike, who received direct praise from the President.
I have stated this is not the first time that when INEC headquarters was located to Abuja, it was FCT. It is good. It says that because so many people who got into say all kinds of things, so it's good that you explain that. And I want to assure you that this structure will be given all the time it required to see that during the first tenure, this project is completed.
The project comes after over 10 years of sustained appeals by INEC for more space. The Commission's current headquarters, commissioned in 1997, was originally designed to house just 500 staff and 8 Commission members. Today, the body accommodates over 1,000 personnel, 13 full-time commissioners, and 22 departments. In the days ahead, we look forward to a more robust and lucrative INEC headquarters, even in deliberating and emphasizing electoral decisions across the country. Godwin Sunday, reporting for Global Television News.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Chair of the Economic Community of West African States Mediation and Security Council, Ambassador Yusuf Tuggar, has raised concerns over the apparent inclusion of all ECOWAS member states in a new wave of United States visa restrictions, describing the policy as a significant barrier to trade, diplomacy, and regional prosperity. Speaking at the opening of the 54th Ordinary Session of the Mediation and Security Council at the ministerial level in Abuja, Tuggar warned that such restrictions could strive efforts to deepen U.S.-West African relations, particularly at the time when the region is ripe for economic cooperation and security collaboration. Tuggar framed the policy not only as a diplomatic misstep, but also as an economic missed opportunity, especially given ECOWAS' vast resource base. The 17 candidate nominated for President Bola Tinubu to oversee the affairs of River State Independent Electoral Commission, River State Civil Service Commission, and River State Local Government Service Commission have officially declared their assets before the Code of Conduct Bureau. The leader of the Senate, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele, disclosed this during the screening exercise by the Senate Ad Hoc Committee to oversee the activities of the River Sole Administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Eted Ibas, retired. The assets declaration came on the heel of security clearance by the Department of State Services and the Nigerian Police. The Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, IPCR, has marked its 25th anniversary with a strong call for urgent action on the worsening humanitarian crisis in the Sahel region, accompanied by the impact of climate change. At a special event to commemorate the milestone held in Institute Conference Hall, experts, diplomats, and civil society leaders gathered to discuss the increasing threat of climate change, armed conflict, and internal displacement. Hassan Kabir was there for Global TV.
Sahel, which spans across parts of West and Central Africa, has become a hotspot for insecurity, food shortages, and forced migrations. Nigeria, especially the northern region, remains a focal in this crisis. From shrinking farmland to terrorist violence, communities in Borno, Yobe, Zamfara, Katsina, and parts of Niger State are experiencing both climate-related and security emergencies. Speaking at the event, the Director General of the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution, Dr. Joseph Ochugu, stated that climate change is worsening conflict and displacement in the Sahel, especially in Nigeria. He therefore called for urgent, inclusive, and preventive response through peace building, climate resilience, and youth empowerment. He aligned the theme of the seminar with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and appreciates support from partners like Frederick Ebert Stephen.
As we celebrate today, please note also that we also align with President Tinubu's foreign policy doctrine, which is the 4D, anchored on democracy, development, demography, and diaspora.
Ambassador Usman Serki, who was the guest speaker, emphasizes the need for collaboration with the government, highlighting ways to curb the menace.
Itself is a major player and stakeholder in the Sahel region. However, the sudden rupture and dramatic exit of these countries from the body will make it difficult, will make it doubtful if ECOWAS can have any significance in determining or shaping the course of events and developments in the central Sahel region.
Speaking to journalists, the guest speaker stressed the need to find a lasting solutions to the climate change, armed conflict, and internal displacement in the Sahel region.
My recommendation is for the Nigerian government to dedicate a special space for the study of the conflicts and situations in the Sahel region.
Stakeholders and participants expressed hope that efforts will move from discussion to actions aimed at building a peaceful, climate-resilient Sahel, where displacement and conflict no longer define the future. Hassan Kabir reporting for Global TV News.
The National Emergency Management Agency has received 147 Nigerians who voluntarily returned from Agazad, Niger Republic. The repatriation was coordinated by the International Organization for Migration, collaboration with other stakeholders involved in migrant support and reintegration. The agency disclosed that out of the 147 returnees, 143 were adult male. There was one male child and one adult female among the group. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board JAM has announced stringent sanctions against individuals and computer-based CBT centers found guilty of infractions during its registration and examination processes. JAM Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloyede disclosed this during a stakeholders meeting on examination infractions held in Abuja. Priscilla Obasi completes the report.
The JAM Registrar, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, says any registrant found to have enrolled more than 50 candidates using suspicious methods will be barred from participating in any JAM-related activity, including the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) for a period of 3 years. He added that the suspension also extends to preventing registrants from taking part in the examinations of other sister bodies such as WAEC, NECO, and NAPTEC within the same period. He noted that after 3 years, the board will review each case and determine whether to lift the sanction based on the registrant's conduct.
Also identify that lack of training is the problem, is part of the problem. Federal university closest to each of the center, we will need them to re-engage the center. That is, we will not allow any of these centers to do anything with us until they bring a certificate, a letter from a federal institution closest to that center that their staff had been trained on ethical standards. That is, for instance, you are in Bayelsa, there is Federal University of Otuoke. There must be a letter from the university about training your staff on ethical standard and ethical practice. In that case, we will then allow you to continue. If you do that in 1 week, in 1 month, in 2, that's when you will continue with us.
He noted that for registrants who have enrolled fewer than 50 candidates must submit a formal letter of apology and sign a bond of good conduct to avoid future misconduct. He added that all CBT centers involved in infraction, particularly those operated by federal and public institutions, are mandated to sign a bond and provide evidence of staff training in ethical standards. Also speaking at the meeting, former Lagos State Commissioner of Police Fatai Owoseni, retired, stressed the need to tackle malpractice firmly and end discriminatory practices in Nigeria's legal system. He advocated for strict enforcement of laws against offences such as impersonation and examination fraud.
Apart from the examination malpractices, what you've done under the criminal code is forgery, impersonation. You are supposed to go to prison. Actually, when the registrar started, I said, why do we even have to call you? Because the registrar is aware.
Bashir Gumel, Deputy Provost of Chikora's CBT Center, Ubura, Jigawa State, one of the affected centers, revealed that a local committee had been set up to address infractions, and the committee reportedly summoned those individuals, secured confessions, and committed to restoring integrity at the center. He, however, cautioned about the risk of closing the center, noting its critical role as a first employment opportunity for young people in the area.
There we have summoned all of them to come for fair hearing. We have heard all what they have done, and they've confessed that to return the integrity of our institution, this will not go like that. They have to be punished, and we promise that the mode of action that we've taken will be shared with the JAM office. And in that regard, again, our center is not an established center in the catchment area where there are very few CBT centers. Thus, we therefore more centers. If our center is closed, then where are children going for JAM distance?
A total of 11 CBT centers were identified for infractions by JAM.
You are watching the live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, Manchester United to host Arsenal in blockbuster opening game. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
You are welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is AM News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, the Central Bank of Nigeria directive to suspend dividend payment by banks has triggered concerns over its impact on bank stocks and the wider economy. The move has led to increased volatility and decline in share prices in the banking sector, raising fears over recapitalization efforts and investor confidence. Market players urge caution and call for a balanced approach to regulation that safeguards both the stability of banks and market confidence, thereby supporting economic growth. Now, the new policy issued on June 13, 2025 is designed to compel banks to boost provisions and straighten capital buffers by addressing the burden of regulatory burdens and ensuring full compliance with single obligor limits. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, has terminated the contract awarded to Levent Construction Limited over its failure to deliver on the Benin-Sapele-Warri Road project. The road, a major federal highway, is being reconstructed under the Road Infrastructure Development and Refurbishment Investment Tax Credit Scheme. Speaking in Abuja after meeting with contractors handling various sections of the project, Umahi accused Levent of abandoning a section of the road despite multiple warnings and a final termination notice. On the foreign news now, Iran says it detained 5 suspected agents of Israel's Mossad intelligence agency on charges of tarnishing the country's image online, Iranian news agency reported. They added that the arrest had been made in the western province of Leristan. The arrest came as Iran traded fire with Israel for a 16th day following the serial assault on Iranian military and nuclear facilities, as well as residential areas, which it launched last week. Over now to Moscow, security chief says North Korea will send thousands of workers to help rebuild Russia Wardrum Shirk region. Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu, who held talks with North Korea's Kim Jong-un in its capital, Prague, today, described the deployment as fraternal assistance. For months, concerns have swirled over the deepening military collaboration between the two states following reports that thousands of North Korean soldiers are helping Russia fight its war on Ukraine. And in sports story now, the Premier League has released a fixture list for the 2025-26 season and kicked off with a bang. Manchester United will host Arsenal in blockbuster opening game. United, who finished a disappointing 15th last season, will be eager to bounce back. Arsenal, on the other hand, are hoping to finally win the title after finishing second 3 years in a row. Former Lyon and Bordeaux striker Bernard Lacombe, who won Euro 1984 with France, died on Tuesday at the age of 72 after a long illness. Lacombe began his career with Holmes Town Club Lyon and had a brief spell at Saint-Élion before joining Bordeaux, scoring 255 goals in total in the French top flight in 497 matches. Early Argentine Diego Onions has scored more goals in League. Lacombe returned to Lyon after his playing career and served as manager between 1996 and 2000. As Global TV AM News comes to an end, let's take a quick look at our top stories again. Brought to you that President Bola Tinubu has visited victims of the recent brutal attack in Yelawata community in Guma local government area of Benue State, where over 59 people were killed and many others injured. Business, we brought to you that the Central Bank of Nigeria directed to suspend dividend payments by bank has triggered concerns over its impact on bank stocks and the wider economy. And on the foreign news now, Iran says it detained 5 suspected agents of Israel's Mossad intelligence agency on charges of tarnishing the country's image online, Iranian news agencies reported. And finally, in sports, the Premier League has released a fixture list for 2025-26 season and its kickoff with a bang. Now that's it on Global TV AM News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Up next is Global Morning. Stay tuned.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
All right, as always, we're delighted to have you join us here on Global Morning. A great Thursday it is. What more can we say? We stay grateful and continue to move the show from point A to point B for you. Of course, as always, it's loaded and we have so much to talk about on the program today. Politics, leadership, governance, human angle, real people stories, everything all well weaved into one. I'm Uyi Agmofobe.
Good morning, Uyi. It's good to have you this morning. You're looking very sharp as usual.
I learned from the best.
I think, one thing about looking very sharp is that it helps you define your day.
Right.
Sometimes, most times, not even sometimes, it helps you stay at your best. Well, I don't want to talk about the ladies. Good morning, everyone. It's good to have you join us on Global Morning this beautiful Thursday. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo.
All right, great. So let's move things real quick this morning for you, everyone. We'll spend the last couple of days talking about real life issues, the challenge people are dealing with live on the ground in Benue State. Multi-angle kind of conversation we've had about this nasty development. Yes, that's what it is. I mean, it's quite a nasty and very unfortunate development that we have there. Otherwise, the president probably won't make it an issue of priority to have been there yesterday, because we understand the president had to put his earlier planned trip to Kaduna State on hold just to keep the main thing. And yesterday he was live on the ground in Benue State. We understand several issues were raised. The president got interactive with Governor Hassan earlier, the Chief of Defense Staff, all the other service chiefs on the ground, the Police Inspector General of Police, for example. And then he also spoke with other critical stakeholders, and he says, look, if there's anything we must do going forward is for me to first and foremost rally your support, all of you, in such a way that we are able to run circles around this challenge that we are dealing with. Of course, Nigeria is resourced enough, big enough, smart enough to surmount this challenge, but we must first, as it were, lay the issues in front of us, understand exactly what we're dealing with. Because Ramsey, I mean, for you follow the news every other day, for example, one of the issues we've had to try to wade through has been misinformation, fake news, and then double speak of some kind, where, for example, 1 minute you wake up, they say, well, it's a bunch of people who are coming into Nigeria from our porous borders that are responsible for this carnage. Then you wake up the next morning and you're hearing that, well, it's a bunch of politicians who are based in Abuja that are driving, fueling this, well, let's just call it massacre for want of better words, for example. And then you're wondering and you're asking yourself, can we just get a grip for a second and be frank, be dispassionate, be logical about what exactly we're dealing with? Because come to think of it, until we are sure what we're dealing with, the chances of finding a solution towards lasting peace are very slim.
And that's very true. You know, when you talk about this dissemination of fake information,
right,
and different stories coming from different people, most times my mind goes to the social media and bloggers who are ready to make money by all means are dishing out fake stories. But sometimes there are contradictions, because you hear, for a particular story, you hear different angles from different persons,
right,
and you will be wondering which one is really the genuine story, all right, which one is the real story. And I think most times we tell people, I say it most of the times when we are to look at the pages of the national dailies, I tell people, well, you need to sieve information, you know, because the kind of information you consume have a way of affecting you either positively or negatively. I've heard people who say, well, there are some channels they don't even want to watch at all, because all you get from there is stories that are not pleasant to the heart, and there's a way such stories affect people. You are always hearing of killing, of wars, of genocide, different things and different stories that don't really appeal to your emotions, and there is a way these stories affect people. I think one of the things that we need to do is coming out with the real story on time, breaking the news. You know, when that assignment is well carried out, the real news is being broken early. If it breaks early, you know, enough, the people who peddle fake stories will not even have all the time to do that, because the real story is already in the fore, and everybody know what the true story is. But then, what will you say of a situation where you are hearing over 100 people were killed, and a commissioner of information is coming to say it is 59, and people are flying on social media with evidences and a whole lot? Well, sometimes there are contradictions, but when it comes to the real facts, we need to, on our own self, do a fact check, you know, to really know which of the stories is really correct. Most times, that's what I do.
You know, it's quite interesting, but then we're going to have someone who is, well, from Benue State join us. In fact, two persons this morning, a gentleman and a lady. Both of them will help us just bit some context and perspectives into the development in the nation's food basket, even though with all of these threats of saying the last couple of days in particular, there is now a huge question mark being cast over Benue State as to whether or not it is still the food basket of the nation. Well, we'll have that conversation. But let's not also forget that today is World Sickle Cell Awareness Day, here 19th of every June each year. It's not a conversation we have every day, but for people, excuse me, who have had to live with the anemias, I'd like to call it, for those who have had to cater to, nurture people who are dealing with this reality, is a different ball game altogether. People have asked questions like, is there no cure for it? How challenging is it? What are the elements? What are the dynamics? Right? How much of research is being put into finding a definitive cure, as it were, and things like that? Those are some of the questions we'll be answering today, because in the final analysis, sickle cell anemia is all about blood.
It's all about blood, and most times it's hereditary.
Right.
You know, but then, well, if you've not been there, you won't know how it is for people who would have to take care of children.
Right.
All right. That have the sickle cell anemia. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot, because it has to do with blood. You have to be given blood from time to time. The crisis is not something to witness at all. But then, like you said, today is a very unique day, because there are 1,001 questions in the heart of people who are being affected directly or indirectly. It's either you have a child or you have someone. Is there really, some of the questions are, is there a particular age a sickle cell patient gets to that the person will not be affected anymore? Because there are a lot of misunderstandings about sickle cell, and all of that, an expert will be talking to us about it today. The management, how to manage the crises, what to do when there are crises, does it have a cure, what happened, how to escape it, is there a particular age that if you get to, it won't affect you or take your life anymore? All of these are questions in the heart of people who are affected directly or indirectly. So today is a special day. All you have to do is just stay on the channel, because that conversation will be coming at the course of Global Morning today.
Right. It turns out that some of us have been blessed with family and friends who are dealing with this challenge firsthand. Sadly, we have lost some. We still have some who are here with us today, right? So we're going to talk about awareness and then raise the bar a little, all else equal, about advocacy, because these are very core planks in the conversation around sickle cell anemia. Breakfast is in the works. Shortly, we will bring you all of that. But we'll take a quick break now. Up ahead, we will also look at the big headlines across our national dailies for you, just so we can keep you, one step ahead of the news. We're back shortly. You know what it is? So that's a point at which you get to look at the papers for you, bring you some big headlines, and also take our time to walk you through them so we can create some guardrails regarding these stories and where they are all heading. Incidentally, we're beginning with the Daily Trust's newspaper today. Quite a number of headlines here, at least we can see 4 of them. So we look at the ones immediately beneath the name plates of the Daily Trust, top left first of all. All right, let's see what it says here. It says, World Sickle Cell Day, patients battle high cost of drugs, access to treatment. So those are 2 issues. First off, the first is the cost of drugs, and then we have the issue of access to treatment. Maybe the third is the quality of such treatment, for example. But again, we will have to unpack all of that for you as we make progress into Global Morning today. Then there's more to come here. Bandits kill 24 farmers, others in Katsina communities. Going up, one of the things I heard was it doesn't rain, it pours. One would have thought now that we're paying attention, maybe more attention to Benue State, we'll begin to find some reprieve. But we're hearing now that bandits have killed some 24 farmers and others in Katsina communities. I mean, that entire northwest belt has also seen more than a fair share of its own security challenges, whether we're talking about Katsina today or Zamfara tomorrow. Of course, Zamfara has been the hotspot for quite a long time. There are those who say, well, it's nothing but political. Others say it is on account of the mineral deposits in the ground in that state. But whatever the case may be, the major objective of having the government in place is to ensure or guarantee security of lives and property. That's constitutional. But, well, we continue to push the conversation here on Global Television. How fake agric credit providers dupe farmers. How fake agric credit providers dupe farmers. And then we have the star headline as well for you. The kicker says, Benue killings. Arrest perpetrators, Tinubu orders security chiefs. You know, these ordering parts can create a bit of concern, makes some of us scratch our heads. The question is, does the president need to give such an order to the security chiefs? For example, it appears we need to nudge the security chiefs, we need to remind them, we need to set some alarm clocks for them. Yes, so you hear things like the president has ordered the IG, the president has ordered the chief of defense staff, he has ordered the chief of army staff. Of course, let's be clear for the purpose of our viewers who are watching this morning, and also to establish perspective. The president hires and fires. All of these gentlemen we have mentioned serve at the behest of the president. In other words, the president can give directive and decide to reverse that directive. However, some things should naturally run by default, run on autopilot. And I'll give you just an example. Global Morning is for 7 a.m. here on Global Television. It will be shocking, for example, for somebody to say the MD has directed me to host Global Morning. Unless, of course, we were not scheduled for it in the first instance. If Ramsey, for example, knows that it's on Global Morning on a Thursday morning and the roster, the schedule has not changed, the question is, does he need to get a directive from his supervisor to say you are on Global Morning tomorrow? Are you aware? All right, so we need to increase the amount of common sense that we bring into this conversation, because this is a country of over 200 million people. This is a country blessed with excessively smart human beings. So when we push on narratives, it just places, it casts some sort of shadow over whether or not we are actually properly aligned about some of these issues, especially when you're talking about issues of life and death, human beings. I mean, if you saw the pictures yesterday of the president being in Benue State, how he was interacting with those who had been hospitalized on account of these incessant killings, you begin to have a better feel of what really is happening. Of course, people have come to rail against the president for not moving early enough and all that. But of course, as they say, better late than never, and things like that. But we're saying this to say that this idea of the president has ordered, president has not ordered, we're just hoping we don't come to a point where we now start hearing the president has asked the chief of defense staff to wake up tomorrow morning. I mean, come on. These are things that have been institutionalized. All right, so there's a kind of institutional thinking that should come into the way we carry ourselves in this regard. Yes, we know the president has a duty of care. He has a responsibility to connect with the people, which we believe that he had done yesterday by going to Benue by himself, not by using the proxy. But you see, we must also understand that to whom much is given, much is expected. I think we'll leave it there, really.
Well, that's Nigeria for you. That's Nigeria for you. You know, most times, well, as someone said, if you watch that clip very well, I wasn't in Benue, if you watch that clip very well, he was just calling their names.
Right.
He will call their name Christopher. You know, he was just calling their names and giving the instructions, and people were clapping, and I was like, all right, do these people need to be reminded of what they should do before they do it?
Right.
Especially in situations like this. Then you look at it from the other side, like you said, is it trying to maybe re-emphasize their duty, or it is a reminder that this is what you are supposed to do now, you didn't do?
Right.
You know, so many questions come to mind. But like you said, the president has the right to dish out orders anytime, any day. So as a matter of fact, all eyes still on Benue State. Let's see what will happen. The instruction or the order, whatever it is, has been given. Let's see what will happen. Can we now say, well, peace has finally returned to Benue State? These are some of the questions in the heart of Nigerians and the people of Benue State.
Well, fine place to leave it, quite frankly. Then let's turn to our next point of call. That would be the Punch newspaper. Perhaps no more than 2-3 headlines from there.
All right, let's quickly look at the Punch newspaper this morning, and just beside the nameplate, we have this one which says Tinubu assembles top brass ex-governors to end Benue killings. That's the prayer Nigerians are praying. Let the killings end. Ex-generals, Ogbe, top monarchs, others on high-level peace plan, President orders IG, CDS on killings, arrest, earlier backs state police. All right, that's just one rider from that story. Talking about state police, some persons are already agitating for state police, saying if the state police are readily available in the state, the governor have rights over the state police at least. Right. You can send them, but then these people are in the bushes. They're in the bush. What can the police do? But then I think protecting the state, the local government is very important. But then the issue of state police, sometimes it was being put to sleep. I don't know if it's been awakened right now, because it's a lot of people actually agitated for it, and so many reasons were given. Some persons said they were going to be used, other people said, well, the state is not mature enough to have a state police when we have the federal police and all of that. But the question is, are these people enough? And the other side of the coin is, would these people be able to quench the crisis in these states? These are questions in the heart of Nigerians. This one says INEC fires back at coalition over 2027 party registration delay. The story, the picture story there, President Tinubu to commission roads linking Mabushi with Katampe, Judges Quarters area today. The commissioning is still going on. The Minister of FCT is doing so much. But I will always keep saying this. We need people to be alive to actually use this infrastructure. It's a good one. Mr. Infrastructure is doing so well. We are all giving it to the Minister of FCT, but then we are also calling on the Minister of FCT, the federal government, to do whatever they can so that the health system can be at least brought up to a very good standard again. The primary health care have been on strike, and a lot of people, I know people who personally needed attention, and they can't go to the private hospitals because of the economic situation. But the primary health care is not up and doing, and this can also add to the profile of the president and that of the Minister of FCT.
That's right.
While the commissioning is going on, we should also remember the health sector too. That's going to be the size of the headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, so let's go national with the Nation newspaper for you. We start with the Star headline here. It's got a kicker that says, Benue killings, President goes hard on security chiefs. Then we've got two riders with it. The first one reads, Get the criminals, says Tinubu, alias 6 State Police. And then there is a third one that says, Store thief invades targets land. Invaders targets land. All right, enough said about these issues until we begin to expand the conversation this morning in the course of the show. And then we lift things a bit higher for you. Here, top left corner, with a picture of Taiwo Oyedele, the chairman of the Tax Reforms Committee set up by President Tinubu. It says new tax system to take effect January. What's more, false over deduction from airtime on USSD transactions. Every Nigerian can relate with that, but it's an ongoing conversation, quite frankly. Let's go look at our last paper, everyone, this morning. That is the first newspaper. The first is coming last, ironically.
All right, let's quickly look at the first newspaper. The first newspaper says Benue killings. That's the kicker.
Establish state police intervention fund. Alia begs Tinubu establish state police. Now this one says DSS links Nnamdi Kanu to killings, cannibalism, illegal radio station. Lagos tax force arrest 49 in Victoria Island crime raid. We can't go to our farms, they will kill us. Benue women cry out. You were asking question if Benue is still the food basket of the nation. I don't think so, because Kastinala is a no-no where the big yams come from, you know, and other parts of Benue too. So I don't know, but then I think the glory can still be returned back if the big guns really want to have it back. 38 Ogun inmates bags theology mission certificates behind bars. Alright, no hiding place, that's the big story. Tinubu orders security chiefs to hunt Benue killers. Just one right to that story. Blast IGP over inaction, demands unity among Benue leaders to end bloodshed. Okay, you can see the picture story of the president there, where the way he's holding his arm, that is feeling bad about the incident in Benue State. EFCC arrest ex-Plateau speaker, 14 others for alleged money laundering. Iran wants US to stop backing Israel or face consequences. Wow. All right, you can pick that the first news and go through that for yourself. No matter what I do, they will insult me, Tinubu. No matter what I do, whether good or bad, they must insult me. They will insult me. All right, I don't know, but there is this belief people have about politicians. I don't know why. Is it because of the manifesto? Is it because of the propagandas? But there is a perception about politicians, and the politicians also have a perception about the people. So this is how.
So are you saying it's perception versus counter perception?
That's what it looks like. All right, but then I have someone who said his nickname is whatever, meaning whatever you do, people must say something, whether positive or negative.
That's right.
So that's the size of the headlines for the first news this morning.
I think if there's anything the president has shown Nigerians, which is very inspiring, is the fact that uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. That used to be my mom's, one of her favorite quotes back in the day, but it is what it is, quite frankly. To whom much is given, again, much is expected. Well, let's give you some return on investment of your time following through the papers with us this morning, and that is the fact that Sharon Ajay is standing by with taste and texture.
And welcome to Taste and Texture. I am Sharon Ajay. Today we will be learning how to make mashed potatoes. Are you looking for the best mashed potatoes recipe ever? Then you are in luck. Or are you looking for a good old-fashioned mashed potatoes? This mashed potatoes recipe is perfect for you. This go-to recipe makes a classic holiday dish, and you will learn how to make mashed potatoes that comes out smooth, creamy, and delicious every single time. This top-rated mashed potatoes recipe, maybe just a few ingredients, produces crowd-pleasing results every time. And the ingredients we'll be needing are potatoes, milk, butter, salt, and of course, water. Come along, let's try our hands and eat.
all your ingredients and get them ready. Peel off your potatoes and cut into small chunks. Put the potatoes into a pot and add water until the potatoes are submerged in the water. Add salt and bring it into a boil. Lower it to medium and simmer until potatoes are tender 15 to 20 minutes. Next, drain the water from the potatoes and add salted butter and slowly add warm milk mixture. Proceed to blending it in with a potato masher or electric mixer until potatoes are smooth and creamy. And then you could go ahead to season with salt and pepper or add little vegetables on it just for it to look more presentable. And to the favorite part, serve and enjoy. Well, you might be wondering, what are some health benefits of mashed potatoes? Well, mashed potatoes have lots of benefits. For sweet potatoes, you could use sweet potatoes for your mashed potatoes, and they are excellent source of beta-carotene, which the body converts to vitamin A. And vitamin A is crucial for maintaining good vision, supporting the immune system, and protecting against eye diseases like macular degeneration and night blindness. Also, the fiber contained in sweet potatoes, especially if you eat the skin, aid digestion, prevent constipation, and promote regularities. And also, sweet potatoes contain various antioxidants, including vitamin C, which helps protect cells from damage caused by free radical, potentially lowering the risk of certain cancer. Sweet potatoes contain choline, which is important for brain function, learning, and memory. And also, some research indicates that sweet potatoes, particularly purple variants, may help reduce inflammation in the body.
Well, that's it on Taste and Texture. I am Sharon Ajay. Over to you guys in the studio.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Thank you very much, Sharon Ajay, for that. I think I can call it a class, because I just learned something. I just learned. And most times I celebrate when it's time for taste and texture, especially if the meal is that type that will keep you salivating for the rest of the day. But it's so good that we have all of this coming on, and we keep learning every day. Some of you don't even know foods like this exist. The reason I'm saying this is because a lot of Nigerians will tell you, if it's not rice, if it's beans, if it is not beans, it's yam, I'm tired of swallow, I'm tired of rice. But there are other things you can actually do, maybe for breakfast, for lunch, and maybe at late night when you don't want to take anything heavy anymore, you just do something light. Well, I think a lot of people have learned. This is what text and texture brings to the table, and Sharon Ajay will always be there to give you these informations free of charge. FOI is free of charge. You ain't paying nothing for it. Just go practice it. One of the things that I tell people is there's no need to be shy if you are the type that can prepare just noodles. This is an opportunity for you to learn, right, how to prepare different dishes. At what time are you supposed to prepare these dishes, okay, so that you can use it to spice up your diet, spice up what you eat every day, so we don't have this complaint of, I'm tired of rice, I'm tired of swallow, and all of that. I don't know what to do for breakfast. Mashed potatoes is what we were just taught now. For the Gen Zs who can only prepare noodles, this is an opportunity. Always have your pen and paper very close to you when it's time for taste and texture, so that you can take down one or two, all right? Because that's what it is, all right? You take it down, then you practice it. If you have questions, you can always send Sharon Ajay messages on social media. Well, I was trying to prepare this and I got hooked. What do I do? She's going to put you through free of charge. All right, it is still Global Morning. We are going on a quick break, and after this break, we'll get into the conversations. Stay with us.
know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Well, let's take our time to talk about leadership quickly. But first of all, that was Shaun Raje as usual, doing a thing right there. Somebody once said that the only challenge is they never get to the point where you actually eat that breakfast right in front of you. But the idea is for you to be able to take that recipe and replicate it in your kitchen on your own. So that you can try out all the things she says about how to make these, how to make that. Recently, people have been recommending certain kinds of food that she should be making so they can have the recipes for all of those culinary ideas and stuff like that. But what more can we say? It's a daily affair now, right? Thank you so very much, Shaun Raje, for that brilliant idea right there. So we're not going to talk about leadership, especially as it has to do with the Federal Capital Territory. There are those who say that, look, you may have your issues with Nyesom Wike, the former River State governor, now Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Yes, you may have your differences with him politically, in terms of partisanship and what have you. But there are several things about him that stand out, quite frankly. First of all is the fact that the man has said repeatedly that he is not just a member of the People's Democratic Party, he is a bona fide member. He's a member by every definition, all right? And he says nobody can send him or push him out of the party. So he remains a member of the party on the one hand, while he continues to serve in the opposition party, which is, of course, the ruling party, the APC. And the president himself, his principal, has never expressed any discomfort with that. If anything, he has said he should continue to do what he calls the good work that has been doing. And when you also speak to people across the city here, whether those who are politically aligned or those who are just, neutral, they get to tell you that for the first time in several years, things are moving in terms of infrastructure development in the Federal Capital Territory. And the beautiful and interesting thing about infrastructure is you talk less and you see more about it. So if the minister says he's working with the FCT, we don't need to start a debate. We don't have to engage in a town hall interaction of any kind. You will see the flyovers, you will see the roads, you will see the drainage, erosion control measures being put in place in real time. I mean, these are tangible initiatives that you can see. The last few days, for example, he has dedicated them to commissioning one project after another. We are even seeing the president himself come to personally commission those projects, and we understand that's going to be the case for several more days to come, and Global Television has been bringing you the highlights of these events.
I think the Mr. Infrastructure,
as it's fondly called,
all right, in River State is a continuation of that in Abuja here. But then, I think the president said, remember, he is not the one to put an end to the crisis in the other parties. Like some persons already believe Wike belongs to APC.
As it stands, right?
As it stands. Some people are even thinking that he may defect. But the president of Wike that I know, I don't know, but this is politics.
Right.
Anything is possible. Right? Anything is possible. But it's so good that we are seeing tangible effect. We are seeing structures, especially the road network. I think today there's going to be a road that's commissioning, one between Mabuchi and
Kantape. Right.
You know, and these are things that people are seeing. Despite the fact that there is hunger in the land, these infrastructures are things that the eye can see, the people can use. But then, one other thing again, the housing issue in FCT, not just in FCT, in Nigeria as a whole, but majorly at the big cities. In the big cities like Abuja, Port Harcourt, Lagos, and other states in Nigeria. But then, let's come to FCT now, where we've heard that a lot of houses were being seized by the federal government, by the FCT authorities because of non-payment of the land use fee.
The ground rent,
the
right?
ground rent. Some questions are being asked. What will happen to these houses? Is it going to be let out to people, to the average Nigerians who are homeless? Because whether you like it or not, we have people in FCT that are homeless. You go to some places, you have like 4 or 5 persons in a room. Some are being chased out by landlords. Some are allowed to stay, and it's not convenient. But we have estates in Abuja that is being inhabited by probably birds. One of the things that Nigerians may be really interested in and will appreciate the Minister of FCT if he does it is the estates that are not inhabited in Abuja. Let's get to know who the owners are. If it is something that can be revoked and be made as maybe federal housing, or maybe being given out as mortgage houses, or being given out to Nigerians that cannot really afford where to put their head, it will be fine. But on the whole, the Minister of FCT is doing a great job. Like you said, it's not easy to move the president, all right, from his office to go about commissioning projects. But when a project is commendable, the president will not have any choice than to do the commissioning. I think some persons will look at it as an honor.
Right.
All right. Imagine the ICC that was even being named Well, I think it's former ICC. Now it's not ICC.
Exactly.
Now it's Bola Ahmed Tinubu
International Conference Center.
So all of these put together, we can see the FCT minister is working. The party doesn't matter anymore, because what Nigerians are even particular about is not the party per se, but then let's get to see and feel and enjoy the dividends of democracy. It's not all about the party.
Long and short.
Long and short. That's what Nigerians are after.
Right. You see, well, quite interesting. What more can we say? We just hope that this stride continues, because ultimately people are more interested in the results than efforts and plenty talk. All right, so much to talk about on the program today. Shortly, we'll be joining our first guest to talk about the Sickle Cell Awareness Day, what it means for not just sufferers or their loved ones, but for the entire world. What should we know more about it? How do we continue to cut down on the level of ignorance and misgiving that are closely associated with this phenomenon? Before all of that comes up, here is Ogochukwu Mobono with Social Buzz.
Global Morning Crew and good morning viewers. I am Ogochukwu Mobono. So what's buzzing today on the internet? Well, a viral video showing female students of Olabisi Onabanjo University, Ogoroye, being checked for bras before entering the examination hall has sparked widespread criticism online and on campus. The video, which surfaced on Tuesday, captures female students standing in a queue at the university's main campus while unidentified officials appeared to be inspecting whether they were wearing bras before allowing entry into a computer-based test venue. The incident has ignited outrage on social media, with many condemning the practice as a form of harassment and a misplacement of academic priorities. In response to the uproar, the University Student Union Government President Moise Olatunji issued a statement via his social media platform, noting that the union had engaged the school management over the issue. OOU University Student Union has engaged with the institution to explore alternative approaches to addressing indecent dressing, focusing on respectful and dignified interactions between students and staff. He also urged female students to dress modestly, adding OOU promotes a dress code policy aimed at maintaining a respectful and distraction-free environment. Olatunji clarified that the no bra, no entry stance is not a newly introduced policy, but part of the institution's long-standing code of conduct. As you can see the video online, no bra, no entry. And you know, some of the students were saying this no bra, no entry thing is usually done during examination, whenever it is time for examination, but it's not really an everyday thing. They don't get to see securities checking if a female student is putting on bra. But then again, we are going to ask, why don't they wear bra? We've heard so many things right now. People say they don't feel comfortable wearing bras, bra pains them and all of that. But then you are going to be coming out on a social space. Why do you want to leave your breast damping? Well, that's my own opinion. We are going to be taking some comments on social media concerning this whole issue. And our first comment today is coming from Laugh and Learn. And Laugh and Learn says, urgent action is needed to address the growing issue of indecency in the country as it continues to escalate daily. This is good for them. Well, that is Laugh and Learn. Well, the next one is coming from Opeyemi Defy, and Opeyemi says, well, I'm bored. So my fellow ladies saying misplaced priorities. Imagine you are married. Would you allow your housemate with big boobs walk around the house without bra? Come on. you should understand what OM is trying to say at this point. It's not like he's saying don't do that, but then when you're on social space, why do such a thing? It doesn't really make sense. And the next comment is coming from Danny says, inappropriate touching, can't they just tell with their eyes? OMG. Okay, most times you expect, I'm sure most people are saying, like Danny is saying, can't the supervisors touch see with their eyes that okay, this person is not wearing a bra, or instead of touching? But then this is a female security lady, so I think it's okay for them to find out, to know properly, because right now there are so many people disguising. We have bra tape, we have so many things, trying to package the whole bill. But I think when you're coming out to a public space, why don't you dress decently to avoid things like this? And again, as a student, you just need to abide to the laws of the school. You already read all of this law before even becoming a student of the school. Well, that's all we have for you today on Social Buzz. Kindly drop your thought on YouTube using the handle showing on your screen and be part of this conversation. Tell me what you think about this no bra, no entry during examination in OAU, because I know it also happens in so many other schools. Right here, I'll be leaving you in the hands of the Global Morning crew as Global Morning continues. Please stay with us.
That global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
right, thank you so very much, everyone, for joining us here. We're going to put a conversation about the Sickle Cell Awareness Day online. I mean, in front of you very soon, just so we can continue to expand how we have conversation about this whole issue. We understand our guest is joining right now via Zoom, so he can also help shed light on these issues, because it will appear for many people there is the need to, as quickly as possible, demystify some of the factors around sickle cell anemia. A while ago, Ramsey and I were talking about some of the challenges associated with it, but that's still the conversation we want to have on the show this morning. Hopefully, our guest has already joined us this morning, so we can continue to help you understand better what the phenomenon is about and how you can better respond to it. Joining us from Banjul, the capital of the Gambia this morning, is Olga Tejiri Ovigo Ogbegi. Is a hematologist, blood transfusion science specialist. I'd like to say a big thank you to you, Tejiri, for making our time to join us on the program this morning. All right, we understand that that's is still being worked on. But Ramsey, a while ago, we were making this point about this whole issue. We're seeing parents who even came to protest at some point about how the costs of looking after children with sickle cell anemia was shooting right through the roof in terms of cost of drugs, access to quality, proper care, and things like that. But it will appear we're not having that conversation enough, right?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the issue of sickle cell, like I said earlier, a lot of questions.
Right.
People want to ask a lot of questions. Then the society that we are in, the amenities that we have, we just talked about health facilities a moment ago.
Right.
We're talking about crisis here. Sickle cell anemia is a crisis. That's why they call it crisis. When it started, it has started. But then, do we have what it takes?
Right.
All right. Even if we have what it takes, are they affordable? Is it affordable by the parents or the people who are being affected? These are some of the things that the government should look at. In advanced countries, people, we call it people with special cases. If somebody is AS or maybe SS, that person have a special case, and that person needs to be given enough attention. Maybe where you stay shouldn't be far from a health facility, so that as soon as there is this crisis, people can run there. But then, well, our guest is right here.
Okay, let's quickly take a look at some of the issues this morning with our guest who specializes in these issues. Just like we mentioned a while ago, we are being joined by Olga Tejiri Ovigo Ogbegi, hematologist, blood transfusion science specialist. He joins us via Zoom live from Banjul in the Gambia. Thank you so very much, Tejiri, for making our time to join us on this conversation.
Thank you and good morning. It's good to see you again after so long.
Let's begin first of all with the basics, right? So much of misconception, misgiving, speculation and assumptions around sickle cell anemia. Beyond what we see by way of manifestation of the crisis, what exactly should the everyday person know?
Okay, so when you say everyday person, let's see how we can break this down. So sickle cell disease is a group of inherited disorders caused by mutation in a certain gene, right? So to break it even further down, there's how a process that causes or manufactures blood in the body. All of this is genetically mediated, right? So the body is programmed. There's programming in the body that decides what combines with what, how it combines, you know, to produce the blood, the composites of blood in your body. Now, to the average layman from basic biology, we're taught that blood is made up of 4 components, you know, red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma. Now, inside that red blood cells, there's what we call hemoglobin, right? Now, this hemoglobin is responsible for oxygen transport, essentially, amongst other things, right? So, there is a combination of genes that results in the kind of hemoglobin you get as an individual. So, essentially, there's A, there's S, there's C, there's F, there's D, there's a cocktail of hemoglobins, right? So depending on how you inherit your genes from your parents, that will determine how your hemoglobin structure is formed. So essentially you get one part from your father, you get one part from your mother, and ultimately which gives you your own composition of hemoglobin structure, and which would in turn affect its function. So in sickle cell disease particularly, you have a person who has inherited one S from one parent and another S from another parent, and that will essentially give the SS genotype, hemoglobin genotype that we know, which would result in the sickle cell disease as it were. Now, the beauty of this disease, or the characteristic feature of this disease, is the fact that this hemoglobin's structure would dictate the effectiveness of its function, right? So we call it sickle cell because of the characteristic shape that the cells would present with. So if you look at it microscopically, while you have cyclical red cells as normal cells, or cyclical hemoglobin structure, sort of oval if you like, the sickle cell patient's structure is curved, almost like a C, or if you know ancient Israelites, how they would use a sickle in harvesting their fields. So that is why it is called a sickle cell. So having that structure means that first, the cell doesn't carry as much oxygen as it needs to carry, right? That becomes a significant problem. And beyond that, it doesn't flow very well in the vessels as you'd expect that it would. So beyond not carrying oxygen, which would lead to hypoxia, it would also clog the blood vessels, which would now present with all of the characteristic symptoms as we know, chronic anemia, because of course these cells not being properly structured means they die quickly, right? So while you have a person whose normal blood cells would do maybe about 120 days, you have them doing significantly less. So small stress, oxidative stress as it were, blood cells are dying, right? So they can't cope with as much of the functions as normal cells will take. So you have chronic anemia, which is the crisis that a lot of persons will know very well. Then in some instances, because of this swelling and clogging, you have pain and swelling, right, I beg your pardon, in the joints, in the limbs, and these are significant problems that affect the individuals in their everyday, day-to-day life. Then, of course, because this blood is not functioning as well as it should, there's this susceptibility to infection, right? Because the blood will not be doing as much of its protective function as you'd expect that it would. A lot of other problems that will result from all of these circulatory problems.
Been advised, whether by, well, experts like yourself or everyday regular people, saying, look, you can marry this, you can't marry that, AA can marry AS, SS cannot marry SS, blah, 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 blah. Help our viewers to understand these very fundamental dynamics.
Okay, so this comes essential beyond the fact that people need to know their genotypes. The fact that the awareness needs to be out there, and it's the combination of two individuals that determine the outcome of the results in this genotype. It's important that people first know their genotype, and I would not be doing justice to this conversation if I do not lead with that point, right? So if I know my genotype, I know that there's this sort of person I need to combine with, or I should not combine with. We'll talk about procreation. Now, you would essentially have, which is what is most clinically significant, you would have persons who are AA, AS, SS. I don't want to talk about all of the other possible genotypes out there. I'm talking about what is most clinically significant, right? It would be best if we are all AA, then we would not be having this conversation, right? But as it so happens, it doesn't always happen that way. So a person who is AA can essentially marry anybody based on genotype. But for a person who is AS, it is very, very, very important that they do not marry another person who is AS, because then the chances of having a sickle cell a child comes up very strongly. Now, some persons have come to argue, especially because of mispassage, I like to put it that way, mispassage of information, and miscommunication as it were. They think that, okay, my first child, if I'm AS, my partner is AS, then my first child will be AA, the next two will be AS, and the last one will be SS. So I should marry, I should have only one child or maybe two, and then I would have dodged the SS scourge, which is not true. That chart that we were taught growing up is ability, right? So then there was one time I remember more than 10 years ago, I was looking at a documentary where a lady had mentioned that she had 6 children and 3 of them were sickle cell and 3 of them were AS. There was no AA. So it's a matter of probability, and a lot of the time we don't determine how these genes combined and how they sort themselves out to result in the children that we have. So if that is the case, it means that first things first, you want to know your genotype, and then if you are not in the quote and unquote safe AA percentage of population, you have to look out for a person who is AA to marry, because when you draw the charts and combinations, you realize that the child needs to get an A from somewhere, right, to escape this sickle cell, right? So if not one of the parents has double AA strand, then you're definitely going to be jumping hoops as to which S lands on you, and if there's S in both sides, you definitely have the chance of coming down with a sickle cell child.
Right. Thank you very much. Let's get to know the measures, all right, the management of sickle cell anemia. How is the management like, or if there is cure, probably?
Okay, so yes, there are several approaches that you can take to curing sickle cell, but the best and most important factor that comes to play is how accessible are these cures to individuals. We have a Nigerian who pioneered a stem cell transplant in sub-Saharan Africa, a person of Professor Musa Godin-Bazwai. And interestingly, is out of Benin City, Edo State. So he's been doing stem cells successfully for many years. But first problem is how cheap is this intervention? It is pretty expensive and definitely out of the reach of everyday Nigerians. That's on the one hand. Then it has very specific rules that individuals need to follow. So obviously, not a lot of persons who may be able to afford it may be good candidates for stem cell transplant, and that is yet another challenge that may exist, right? Beyond that, there's also gene editing, which I'm not aware, currently exists in Nigeria or in Africa, as it were. It's more of a Western thing as it is today. And if we're talking about stem cell not being affordable and available to the everyday Nigerian, we cannot even be having the conversation about gene editing, etc., etc. So our strongest defense will still lie in prevention and awareness, which is why I must commend that you're doing this conversation today, because for as many persons as will see this video or join the conversation, then you'd understand that knowing and taking preventive measures will help you avoid all of the conversations about cost and cure. And of course, you talk about success because you have to find a good match. If, for example, you're going to do stem cell, and then you have to, before we talk about the money, then we talk about chances of survival, we talk about all of, so there's so many complications that may arise from doing one stem cell, which could be avoided, if a person just knew their genotype and avoided all of the challenges. But everything else would not result to management, which will come from the presentation, as it were. There's a lot of blood transfusion that comes into managing sickle cell. However, you would ask a very, very vital question, which will be, how readily do Nigerians donate blood? What is the risk factor in blood transfusion and donation? Over time, some persons are even depressed because of all of the crises that they have to go through, all of the pain that they have to endure. So it becomes a significant concern. You have children who complain about their parents, who even end up hating their parents because they are asking questions like, how would my parents know that this sort of thing were possible and still allow it to happen? You have instances where marriages have been destroyed. They have suffered huge losses because of the frequent hospital visits that they have to undergo. Not a lot of persons have the love that can withstand the issues that come with raising a sickle cell child. So when you look at it from that perspective, you'd understand that it is not easy, and it's better if one were to prevent this outcome from existing. So for all of the other in-hospital clinical prevention, yes, there are ways of managing, but something I want to point out is, from statistics that are available, how many sickle cell warriors make it beyond their 20th birthday? You understand? So that's a bit of a problem. From statistics, yet again, sickle cell, 50 to 90% of children under 5 are oftentimes do not make it to their 5th birthday. Newborns do not make it to their 5th birthday. 50 to 9% of newborns don't make it to their 5th birthday, partly because they do not get targeted care. So you need to understand that there is a problem with first having a sickle cell child and then raising a sickle cell child before we even get to talking about curative and other management approach. So these are real issues that need our conscientious assessment.
You alluded to it in passing, though. Let's establish, who knows, maybe a bit more robust perspective, right? Growing up back in the day, one of the things we heard about sickle cell was, well, if anybody was suffering from it, once they were able to break through the 21-year threshold, they were not likely going to stand the risk of dying on account of it. How clinically correct or otherwise is that?
There's no way to clinically establish that theory, right? I know a lot of sickle cell persons that are well in their old age. I remember one time in one of these states, the chief epidemiologist in one of these states was sickle cell. He didn't tell me, but I could tell. The issue is they have persons who are living with sickle cell disease that are well into their adult life, well, above 30. But when we go by statistics, the first issue is when we look at how many persons, right, die before they get to, how many children get to 5 years old, haven't been born with sickle cell, it's a problem. From statistics, yet again, I understand that if you have about 1,000 deaths, you have up to 490 deaths, right, caused by sickle cell. And of course, even in hospital, sickle cell admissions have an approximate 2.5% death, right? So I don't want to scare you with all of these figures, but these are realities that we're dealing with. And of course, for all of the under 5 deaths that we have from, again, WHO data, we have 0.82% that are sickle cell caused. So it's a bit of a problem. What is more of an issue is the presentation, and which could be a factor of a lot of things. First of all, diet may be a factor, environmental health factors may also exist. Management options may also be a factor why that can exacerbate the situation. Lifestyle choices may also exist, because as I mentioned in the outset, you'd understand that these persons who are living with sickle cell disease are not as strong for the most part as their counterparts, right? Who are not. So there are certain things they may not be able to do. As simple as cold may be a problem for them. So if you live in a place that is significantly cold, you may have a problem if you are a person living with sickle cell. Of course, as I mentioned before, oxidative stress, physical strain may also be a problem. And of course, as one grows older, hematopoiesis reduces from all of the areas where it would happen and concentrates mostly, around the pelvis and thigh bones, as regions where blood is produced. Don't forget that I mentioned that their cells may die quicker, right? Their red cells may die quicker because of the compromise in the structure of their hemoglobin, etc., etc. So if I'm not producing enough blood and my immune systems are not as good because of the way my blood is structured, and of course my bones are not getting all of the nutrients that they need, even the regeneration of blood is not as good as it should. It means that my overall health may ultimately be poor, and that becomes a challenge for myself as an individual. So as we grow older naturally, our immune system also takes a hit. It becomes hard for that person to also do well on the health front as compared to other persons. So you see that a lot of expert care is needed, in the management of persons living with sickle cell, which may not be available depending on the financial power and the geography of the individual. So these are the issues that will oftentimes inform how the outcomes of their health becomes, not necessarily a matter of plain statistics. So it is a matter of how you live and how much the quality of life you're able to afford that will often determine. And sometimes there's always this act of God syndrome that may also often come up. So you have persons who are even better placed in society who may not even make it because of maybe a careless mistake or something that is out of their immediate control.
Let's look at the issue of maybe stigma. For instance, people who have this sickle cell, sometimes they are being stigmatized, and you see people avoiding them. I'm asking this question because of awareness. Some people believe that eating with people who have this sickle cell anemia may result to them having it. So I want you to throw light on that area, the area of stigmatizing, avoiding people that have sickle cell. Some persons will not want to eat with them from the same plate and all of that, associate with them. What would you have to say about that so that people can clear the air as it has to do with this sickle cell anemia?
People fear what they don't understand, and it's very unfortunate that it's human nature to oftentimes want to be avoidant of persons that one considers different. The truth is, sickle cell, in my personal opinion, is no different from malaria, because even in malaria, you have the parasites attack the same red blood cells we're talking about and ultimately attempt to destroy them, right? So what then becomes a difference because a person is born with a blood configuration that also would lead to some. It is not possible to become sickle cell from association, right? Which is why parents, especially parents who know better, must teach their children better, right? The only way a person becomes a sickler, as we call it, is to be born that way, right? So there's no manner of association, except of course you are marrying a person who is also AS genotype, that would result in a sickler, in which case it will not also be you, to be the resultant offspring that becomes the sickle cell person, right? So it will be very, very wrong to begin to stigmatize a person on account of such health outcomes. Don't forget, these are persons who oftentimes may often feel certain ways because of their personal incapacity. So we have persons who are not happy that maybe I cannot do as much heavy lifting. Maybe I'm unhappy because I'm always falling sick. Maybe I'm happy because I look frail. Maybe I'm unhappy because I am like this or like that. So they're already dealing with that mental state. and then you as an individual who should know better begin to stigmatize them, or victimize them on account of all of those things. So if we want to build a better world, we should spread more love and more inclusiveness. So as much as their physical capacity will allow them, I think they should be integrated properly into all activities as much as they can, especially with some considerations for the condition of their health. But otherwise, and aside that, I think they are as good as the next guy.
I don't know, because the people who are affected, it's either you're affected directly or indirectly. Maybe parents, for instance, who have to take care of these children. They need support, they need help. Do you see the government doing enough in that aspect?
Well, we cannot have any public health conversation. We cannot have the government, involved. The truth of the matter is, government must do more, right? More in what sense? First, I think sickle cell is one of those conditions that has fallen through the healthcare cracks, such that it's not something that I believe government actively remembers, especially in this day and age when we are dealing with a lot of outbreaks. So I think infectious diseases are in the forefront of all of government's focus, right? Which is not something we blame them for, especially when there are other avenues that they have created that ordinarily should autopilot, such as we have sickle cell centers. I don't believe they are getting as much attention as they should, right? And of course, the National Blood Service Agency, beyond changing names every key market day, I think it's very, very important that they also get the right support to make blood available, because for a lot of these cases, particularly in newborn, you may have to do exchange blood transfusions. For adults who would also need blood transfusions for other procedures. I think strengthening the blood supply and demand, supply mostly, would help, especially in addressing a lot of these issues. Currently, the structure that we have running and operationally in a lot of our government hospitals is hard, especially for indigent patients who would need to access a lot of these support services. It's difficult. So I think these are specific areas that is beyond treatment options, that is beyond support for research, etc., etc., etc. So some of the facilities that I know that are very big in interventions for sickle cell patients, talking about stem cell, etc., etc., are privately owned. So not a lot of government facilities are involved in these procedures. So that's also another problem. We can talk extensively again about health insurance, but well, the question will become how much of health insurance is still available to Nigerians. But that's a discussion for another day. So I think these are areas that government can also look into to help the plight of the common man and their problems. However, it's important that awareness leads, because if we know and we can be preventive, I think a lot of these issues will be avoided.
Incidentally, I'm afraid that's the much time will allow us have this conversation, at least on this day. But more importantly, we're hoping that the world and, of course, critical stakeholders like yourself, experts, are able to also look inwards, do more, continue to invest appropriately. You mentioned research a while ago, for example. That's also at the heart of efforts to be able to curtail the impact of sickle cell anemia. We'd like to say a big thank you to you for coming on the program, and wish you the best of today.
Thank you. You too.
Alright, we've been talking with Oganeteji Ovigo Ugbede, is a hematologist and blood transfusion science specialist. He joined us live from the city of Banjul in the Gambia. We look forward to a day and many more days beyond today where the conversation about sickle cell anemia will become far better than it has been the last couple of decades. We'll take a quick break at this point, everyone. When we return, we'll turn attention to Benue State. The president was there on the ground yesterday. What exactly does that mean for the fight against the incessant killing in the food basket of the nation.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Alright, so let's begin to talk about our last conversation on the program this morning, which has to do with Benue State. Yesterday, the president's arrival in that state brought entirely different sort of, well, if you like, strand into the conversation, because this is a man referred to as the father of the nation. So, following his visit to Benue State yesterday, his interaction with the governor, the service chiefs, the victims and their loved ones, what exactly are we supposed to be saying going forward? The president has called for help of some kind. He has told all of those concerned, starting with the governor, all other stakeholders, to say, look, you've got to rally around me so we can find perpetrators, because that's been one of the real concerns. The fact that up until this point, we're not even hearing or seeing some people who can be said to be suspected perpetrators, whether they are the ones funding it, they are the ones in front lines, I mean those who are actually carrying out these dastardly acts, whether they are those who are sympathizing with them on whatever level for whatever reason, or to even say, let's identify, let's find out what the ideology is that is driving this, because they say there's no smoke without fire. So if you have a pattern, as it were, of people being taken out, people being killed when they're in their most vulnerable moment, it means somebody has got to say, let's wait for a second and find out what exactly is the phenomenon that's driving this. What do these people want? Enough of speculations, because that again in itself just worsens the whole problem. It's making the bad situation worse. When you speculate today, you say it's land grabbers. Tomorrow you say no, it's some Marudas from Niger, from Chad, from wherever. Or you say no, it's a group of politicians. For example, Alba Moro was on the show on Monday, a senator representing Benue South, as you always say, the good people of Benue. He was on the program. I mean, you spoke with him, for example, and he mentioned categorically that the governor had also accused him of being one of those behind this menace. But you see, I don't think there's any right-thinking person who wants to be distracted on the basis of politics. You can't be talking about human lives here, and then you have those who want to rather see it from a political point of view. And there are those who also now place a demand on the government to say, rather than continue to say it's politicians in Abuja, you have a responsibility, you have a duty of care based on the constitution, the oath that you swore to upon becoming the governor, to name those people, that sort of thing. So it's not enough, it's not far-reaching, it's even less than scratching the surface if you say, well, there are politicians behind it. Those politicians are alive, at least you know them, that's why you're able to tell us that there are politicians behind it. Who exactly are those politicians? I'm saying that to say that how we respond to crisis of this magnitude is as important as other efforts that we are making.
I think it's so good that the president had to go to Benue State. But there is a question. Going to Benue State, what is now the next way forward. Like you said, it becomes suspicious sometimes if we have these things happening. The governor will tell you it has been happening for a very long time, for years. We've not had one person who has been fingered as a sponsor. We've not had anyone arrested. Okay, imagine the invasion of Yelwata a few days ago. The number of people that lost their lives in that incident. Has one person been caught? Or does it mean we don't have security operatives anymore in Benue State? Don't we have, can you tell me categorically that throughout that night we never had security operatives mount roadblock checkpoints at some areas in that location? What about the forest guard? Do they work just during the day? What about vigilantes? Do we have vigilantes? Because the Commissioner of Information said categorically on the program here that the governor set up vigilantes across the state. How comes nobody has been caught? We don't have suspects, as a matter of fact. Yes, the president has visited. Good, fantastic. The army chief was there. The IGP was there. And a lot of other security officials. Stakeholders meeting was held. Now, orders have been given. Instructions have been given. This is not the first time instructions have been given. I'm not talking about just Benue State now, but all other parts of Nigeria. Take for instance the killings in Plateau. Mufwang right now as we speak is even, I don't know, like the governors don't even know what to do anymore. But the question is this: if you said it is the headers, you know where these headers are in Benue State. They've been there for a very long time. Have one single person been caught? Now, if you said it is land grabbers, who are these land grabbers?
Well, that question, I mean, I'm going to have you hold your thoughts for a second, because that question in itself is not only poignant, but it's quite thought-provoking. We'll take a quick break now. When we return shortly, our guest will join us here.
That global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Thank you everyone for rejoining us basically for this last conversation on the show where we turn our attention to Benue State, where a lot has been happening recently, but we are beginning to understand that the arrival of the president there yesterday may just be a game changer for this whole crisis that's happening there in Benue. Well, we are being joined now live via Zoom from the nation's capital by Jonathan Ichavi. She is co-founder Sensor Foundation. First, we would like to say a big thank you to you for taking out time to jump in on this conversation this morning. I'd like us to begin with the president's visit, because that appears to be more like a landmark for whatever it's worth in light of these developments in Benue State. Talk to us about the basic implications of this visit and what we saw on the ground in Makurdi yesterday.
Good morning. I hope you can hear me.
Very clear.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on. And I was in Benue until about yesterday, until 2 p.m. and I left. And so first we've seen the humanitarian situation, we've seen the tragedy, the one of many killings which have been underreported. We've seen basically what I call state failure to protect citizens and to ensure their welfare. So we've had serial attacks in Benue. So Yelewata was one in a long line, and it was extremely terrible. And the president's visit, for me as an observer, as someone who has been working in this space for the last 15 years or 14 years, working with displaced people, most of them displaced by terror, and particularly with Benue State, and also across the Middle Belt and even across Nigeria. This is just one in a long line of failings. So when the president announced that he was coming, yeah, people felt okay. Of course, there were so many narratives. The president had issued a statement a few days ago that made people feel very sad because he kept alluding to the fact that they should go and make peace with their people. These are genocidal attacks, and when you're working on your farm peacefully and someone comes with AK-47s to come and shoot you and rape you and burn your children with you in your house, where do you want to start making peace? So the people of Benue saw that as an opportunity for him to hear firsthand, in case he had not been getting proper briefing, to hear firsthand from the people what they were going through. But unfortunately, yesterday when I saw the planned reception, the way the government of Benue State and turned that to a political jamboree almost, it was heartbreaking and it's shattering. For us who have been working, we've seen the fields. There were billboards put up. So first there was this public holiday declared. There was no days of mourning declared when this first happened. But to declare a public holiday because the president is visiting, that to me was dancing on the graves of the people who have died. 1, 2, they put up these billboards about 2027. People have died. 200 people have died. They are putting billboard earlier, Tinubu 2027. It was disgusting. I'm sorry. And it broke our hearts. And then afterwards, I'm sure you saw the clips and the videos. How do you do that? If you have not eaten yet, they don't even have the decorum. So for me, someone posted, Fisayo Shoyombo, an investigative journalist, and I think he spoke the mind of many, that, it is not normal for a city, for a state mourning 200 people killed, not even up to a week ago. A president is coming. You get school children out. It had rained very heavily yesterday morning. It was still drizzling a bit when we went out, and then the rain had stopped, but there were puddles of water and everything. It was cold. They put school children out from various schools with Nigerian flags to fly flags to welcome President Tinubu. Who does that? No responsible state. And the person made the point, Fisayo made the point, that no responsible president or responsible governor should be indulging in such, even if it is the work of their overzealous supporters. Those things should be put a stop to. And the president, so his visit, yes, so first the whole thing, all across the state, there were billboards welcoming him to Benue. It wasn't a somber one. 2, the few people who came out in black to even demonstrate, they had so much police presence, thinking, they will want to protest or whatever. They were just showing that they are in mourning. Where were these policemen? And if you see all the security up and down, where were they when these terrorists came into Yelewata and killed people and operated for 3 hours non-stop and left without anybody following them and all that? So the hearts of the people are heavy. And the only people maybe who might be rejoicing are those who wanted to gain any kind of political mileage out of this and maybe hobnob with President Tinubu for reasons best known to them. But for those who care about humanity, I cried yesterday. I wept when I saw that. We were dancing on the graves of these people. The statement President Tinubu made, about them coming to and him ordering again that they should fish out the killers. I mean, come on. If your security apparatus is failing, then remove them and put in more competent people who will stop these killings. We're tired. So, for some people, maybe there was some symbolism. For me, as someone who has been active in that space and seen enough of the outcome of these things, not just across Benue, across the Middle Belt, across Nigeria, it was just a case of either we don't understand what the danger and the existentialist threat Nigeria faces from this terrorist, or maybe there's something that the government is not telling us. Maybe they are willing to let their citizens just keep dying.
Apologies, but I need to bump in on you for a second. My colleague, Ramsey, will jump in very soon. But I want to ask this, maybe a bit of a pivot here, but again, it finds relevance in light of this conversation. The president gave, most times we call them marching orders to the service chiefs yesterday to go find the perpetrators. Now, this is very central to this conversation because there are now issues around how is it that when things like this happen in some other parts of the country, we hear that we have found some sponsors, we have apprehended some persons who are sympathizing with them, supplying them with essentials, and what have you. Conversely, in the case of Benue, especially this Yelwata end of it, we are yet to see one person who has been arrested on account of being suspected to have been part of it on whatever level to whatever extent. Talk to us from that standpoint.
I don't really have much to say on that. The failing tells me they're not serious. President Tinubu is not serious. Governor Alia is not serious. Security chiefs are not serious. Because I don't understand it. I mean, let's do the math. 100 or 200 people came in on bikes with heavy grade weapons. They first came from wherever. We've not heard any investigation. We've not seen any statement from any security agency, even showing us. Have you even seen any footage of any policemen, DSS, army investigators, military police, whatever police? Have you seen them anywhere showing anything that they're even investigating? Have you seen any forensic investigators brought to Yelwata to even look for any clue? Have you seen anything? So these guys should stop playing games with Nigerians and just stop it. It's ridiculous. I don't have any answers. Those answers we should be asking the president, Governor Alia, Commissioner of Police, IG Police, NSA, all of them, because I don't understand it. And they have how many trillions of naira dedicated to these things? Where are the drones? Where is it? So we Nigerians, we need to also ask them these hard questions. What marching orders? How many marching orders will he give? Wasn't it a few weeks ago or days ago, Chief of Army Staff was in Makudi. Another day, who did they say came again? IG. Please, we're tired of these cosmetic procedures. If they're not ready to do the work, they should step aside. It's ridiculous. So personally, I don't think they're serious. I don't think they care. I've seen this enough. It's we see it. It's a joke. It's a joke, and we need to stop it. These are human lives. So I have no answers, honestly.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think I know how you feel right now, being at the center of the whole incident, and also that you've been working with displaced people for a while. Now, Governor Alia several times have said, well, this is beyond just headers. Some persons are speculating that these people could be land grabbers. Some other persons are saying they are headers. And Governor Alia, in his speech, have actually pointed finger to Abuja that the people responsible for the crisis in Benue from Abuja. We interviewed the senator representing Benue South on Monday, and he said something that instead of collaboration with people in Abuja, people at the National Assembly, Governor Alia is making accusations. What's your assessment of the governor as far as the security situation is concerned in Benue State?
You know, like you said, I've been dealing with this thing for years. We've seen too many people dead, too many people in IDP camps, children, the fallout. So permit me to say it's absolute hogwash. The senator, the governor is the chief security officer of the state. The senator should speak for the people. And again, I will say again, these people are not serious. They're just playing games with Nigerian lives. They need to stop it before the God and man. They took an oath to secure the lives and properties of Nigerian people, to ensure the welfare of the people. They're representing them. They swore on Bibles. For those who are Muslims, they swore on Qurans and whatever. They need to stop playing games. Enough is enough. Enough people have died. Over the last, this year alone, we've lost about 471 people to these kinds of attacks. In Benue alone, we've had about 45 attacks, and this is just June. Last year, we had 128 of those attacks, I think, 123 or 128. A lot of them underreported by the media. Some places, maybe there was a media blackout in Benue State. But the people are dying. You're losing your people. This is the food basket of the nation. This is where your food comes from. Food prices are high all across the nation. Your people are in danger. If these terrorists get Benue, they're going to get Enugu. You see, they were attacking in Enugu. They're attacking in South. They're attacking in different places. And these guys are here playing games. So for me, you know, whatever they're saying, he's not collaborating with the center, that's not our business. That's their internal nonsense. Stop the killings. Get the killers. Get the funders. Again, these things they're just telling you is diversion. Either they're clueless, they're just trying to cover up their incompetence, or they don't know what to do. And it's high time, Nigerian citizens, if we want to be alive, the next time it could be you. I have a friend whose brother went to the village to see his mom in Bagie, and they killed him there. It could be you going to your village somewhere and they'll come and kill you there. It could be me being on the road, they'll come and kill me there. So because they have security detail, they think they're shielded. So they should stop playing games with Nigerians and just stop this nonsense. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I have not
issue of Dr. Alia right now. I think there's a lot of blame to go around if you ask me here. But well, there are those who say that look, the man is not the chief security officer of the state. He's only so in principle because he doesn't as it were command the commissioner of police, the GOC, and what have you. But I want us to talk about the humanitarian weight that comes as part of the aftermath of these incessant attacks. For example, you have been on the ground doing all of those humanitarian work for upwards of 1 decade and counting. Let's talk about how much of effort we are seeing along those lines, whether it's from the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, from international donor agencies, or those boots, so to say, on the ground in Benue across the state, who are trying to say, look, the deed has been done, going forward we have to do damage control. Speak to our viewers about these issues. We understand our guest has gone off, but then we need to talk about that as well, because once people, lives have been snuffed out, like we're saying the last couple of days, for example, it's only natural that you're going to find those who have been devastated, those who have become internally displaced. Of course, the numbers are shooting right through the roof now in terms of the IDP surge that we've seen lately in Benue State. So we'd like our guest to talk about, speak to all of those in a bit. But it's also important to understand that, like she mentioned, it's very common and it can happen very real quick, where you find that people try to introduce element of distraction rather than face squarely where the issues are. People are dying following a particular pattern that has been consistent over time, and ask salient questions as to what are the factors responsible? We continue to talk about whether it's this political party or that political party and things like that. And like she also highlighted, these are people who are, even though politically exposed, but if you like, they have security detail attached to them, so they don't necessarily need to bother about their safety as does the everyday baby man or woman and things like that.
That's the reason I asked the Commissioner of Information, Culture and Tourism that we interviewed on Monday. I was asking him because he was also kidnapped in his own local government. Right. Spent 10 days
in the hands of the kidnappers.
In the hands of the kidnappers. That's to tell you that now you're smiling because you have security details. But then luck may run out of anyone.
Right.
All right. So we're talking about human lives here. Like the question we're asking her. Actually, that question has been on my mind. You know, Benue State. Benue State is a civil service state. Apart from the subvention, the allocations coming from the federal government.
The monthly allocation.
The monthly allocation. I don't see them having so much. But then, if these allocations are coming, there is always, most times there are formulas attached to this allocation.
In terms of sharing formulas.
Sharing formulas that we don't know and cannot talk about categorically right now. But then, talk about how these people are faring at the IDP camps. We have about 21 IDP camps in just Benue State. How many local governments do we have in Benue State that we have 21 IDP camps in Benue State? How are these people faring? What is the government doing about it? Is it NEMA? Is it humanitarian services? Is it the state government that is taking care of these people? Get to the IDPs, you see a lot of malnourished children. You see where they are sleeping, how they are exposed to natural hazards. So many things. Where are they defecating? Are there toilets there? Their health and all of that. We thank God for people like Dr. Pastor Paul Enenche, the pastor of Dunamis International Gospel Center, who, even when this situation happened, he went to Yelwata and he went there with some humanitarian services, with a lot. It's on social media, it's something that one can point to. This same thing he did during the Agatu crisis at Zone C in Benue State. When this incident started, it started from different places in Benue State. These are individuals. But then, this is something that one person cannot just do.
Right.
We are talking about 21 IDP camps.
In one state.
In one state.
My understanding is Benue State has got 24 local government areas. If you ask me, and then you have 21 IDP camps. Yeah, that's quite. It's quite disturbing, alarming, I should say. But let's take a quick break, everyone. Ramsey and I have a lot to talk about, but time will fail us. When we return from this break, we'll begin to wind down on the program.
Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news.
Many thanks for staying with us. As a matter of fact, no amount of words would be enough for what is happening in Benue State right now, but it's our responsibility to keep bringing you to speed with everything happening in Benue State. And of course, this is going to be the size of Global Morning today. As a matter of fact, well, she has spoken. I was telling Mr. Aya, I said, maybe, probably, you discovered that she was emotional.
Obviously.
You know, she was feeling the pain. I wish everyone in governance could actually feel this pain. But then, much cannot be done.
Right.
We'll still keep praying for Benue State. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo.
And we at Mofobe, thank you so very much for watching. We would like to remind you again that all of the views of our guests on our programs, including here on Global Morning, are their opinions.